2. Hello. Are you guys good now? Can you guys hear me? I think you guys can. God damn. Hello. Every damn time. Okay. Checked back to my video here. I think we're all good. I think we're all chill. We're all swell here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Newscast with your host, Takeem Johnson. Yours truly here on the mic here. And, It's been one of those weeks in professional wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. I have to tell you that right here and now. It has been very much one of those weeks here, and I am making a command decision. I'm going to be pushing back some topics that I had scheduled originally for this week, and I might touch up on it during the end of tonight's broadcast, but obviously there are other topics that need to be addressed that deserve more priority, so that's what's going to happen here. Yeah, let's, I don't really know how to smoothly transition to a severe and serious topic such as this, but I'm going to do my best here. I'm going to try to navigate it as best as I can on my own perspective, but, I guess there's nothing more to do than just to get into it. So, obviously, this week has started off very rough. There have been multiple sexual assault allegations that were made, I believe starting a mere 48 hours ago. I believe by Wednesday night these allegations were coming out. One that was started off by this person that's pictured right here, David Starr. Before I really get into anything else, however, I do want to first of all give all the credit and applause to all the victims that have come out and really express what they have every right to express. And even those that haven't expressed, they have every right to not talk about what they may have endured, what they have gone through. I want to give a lot of those women and some of the men even that were a part of this unfortunate situation all the love and showcase in the world for having the courage and bravery to come out and just risk their whole livelihood, their careers, their financial sources and what have you, to really speak out on something that needs to be addressed, because it is something that has been rampant in wrestling for a long, long time. And for those that are going to pretend here today that this is brand new or this has always been known, it's just that people are just reacting today, dude, it's been an open secret. Let's not pretend that this hasn't been an open secret in professional wrestling. So I want to speak on the fact that I believe it was Wednesday night, David Starr was alleged to multiple allegations of sexual assault, and to the point where it was even rape. And multiple women spoke out on Twitter, and they let themselves be known as to what occurred. They gave a lot of specific details as to what happened. Multiple texts, multiple screenshots, multiple messages were posted all across Twitter and social media. And I'm just going to go ahead and try to read what's been going on here as of late. So just bear with me here for a minute. It's a tough situation that I want to be very careful of how I want to address it, because a lot of people, I'm going to be honest with you, I've been very disappointed with a lot of people in their discourse in terms of how they have been trying to see about certain issues and certain things about it. But I'll just go ahead and do my best here. So let's go ahead and switch over here real quick. But the title here from WrestlingInc.com says several independent promotions have cut ties with David Starr following sexual assault allegations. So I'll just go ahead and read a little bit of it here. In response to recent sexual assault allegations against David Starr, several UK independent wrestling promotions have stripped him of their titles or announced intentions to not work with him again. We, the Independent, an organization co-founded by Starr, sent out a statement announcing that they have relinquished ties to Starr. The organization remains committed to supporting and helping independent artists and have stated that they are bigger than one person and hope to move things forward. Ireland's OTT promotion tweeted that their championship will be vacant. Rev Pro tweeted that their Southside title is now vacant, and the TNT Extreme Wrestling promotion tweeted that they have also stripped star, real name Max Barsky, of their title. TNT published an extensive message saying that they do not work with predators and have condemned any type of predatory behavior. All three promotions will announce the future of their respective titles in the future. A Twitter user by the name of Tori shared her story earlier this week, saying the 29-year-old sexually assaulted and abused her, prompting another woman to share her experiences. And here's some of the tweets, as you can see here. Tori stated on Twitter, he kept old screenshots from 2016 to ever use against me. If I were to speak up, making me look angry and crazy. He has folders for several people. I don't mind posting my own screenshots. Here's an open letter to David Starr. And then another one was saying here, once I remember having Thrush and telling David Starr I couldn't and wouldn't have sex with him. He got angry and went to the bathroom next door and had a little wink while watching porn on his phone. I could hear it. Not sure what this is, but I'm sure it's not okay. So here's what I want to talk about when it comes to people like David Starr and people of his ilk and people of his nature, people of his kind, if you will. Right? Those that know me know that I was never the biggest David Starr fan. Okay? Whether it was the wrestling or his persona outside of wrestling, I never was a fan of his. I just thought the guy came off as very disingenuous. I thought the guy came off as so self-serving. I thought he came off as somebody that's clearly using a gimmick to try to fleece off a lot of people to believe that this is what he believes in terms of his politics and what have you, and are just doing things to be a worker, because that's what professional wrestlers are. They're workers at the end of the day. And that's going to be something that I repeat throughout this newscast. Wrestlers are not your friends. Okay? Wrestlers are not your friends. They are workers first, wrestlers second. I have had to repeat this ad nauseum for days and weeks and months and years. You can call it bragging all you want. It's really not bragging. It's just a grim reminder like this, with weeks like this, that these wrestlers are not superheroes. These wrestlers are not indestructible. These wrestlers are not immune to criticism. These are just flawed human beings that have a higher pay rate and a higher position. They're human at the end of the day. And some of them, unfortunately, are pieces of shit. And that's something that I want to address and remind a lot of people that may have favorites of their wrestlers that they like to watch on TV or like to watch live on a show that's near their local city, or if they want to buy merchandise, or if they want to give them money for something that they want. Just because they retweet something from you, just because they may have liked something that you may have tweeted, just because you may have bought their merch, does not mean these people care about you. Alright? I've been saying this, and everyone can check their resume. I've been saying this for years now. I've been saying this for years. These people are carnies. People forget the term what carny is. It's a term that dates all the way back to the early 1900s. In terms of fleecing a lot of the audience to believe something that isn't real. It has not changed in 2020. I don't understand what people think. And I'm not one of these people that like to just be a contrarian, because I can't stand those kind of people. But this business is so seeped in to the filth and rot that this business has the underbelly of, that if we don't move forward with anything other than a hashtag as strong and as trending as it is, if nothing really comes out of this, nothing's going to change. Because let's be quite honest, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I've heard a lot of names, and we'll talk about certain people that were accused of these certain allegations. We'll go through them. But we're talking about certain people in positions that weren't named, that have done things like this, that are guilty of such things, and they don't know that. They don't know that these people have positions and power to do these kind of things, but they make them sign NDAs, or they make them become blackballed or blacklisted amongst wrestling, or they just ruin them financially, or they take away everything of their livelihood. A lot of people are powerful in this business. A lot of people have connections that are just simply not going to be broken, no matter how vile and despicable they are. That is the reality. That is the reality of professional wrestling, just like it was back in the 1900s, just like it was back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, just like it is today in 2020. And a lot of fans, a lot of people need to wake up and stop doing this idle standing bullshit that you guys do on social media. Stop standing flawed human beings. Stop idolizing these people. These people don't care about you. And I'm going to keep saying it. If you have a problem with that, kiss my ass. I'm telling you the reality of what you're seeing right now with weeks like this. I'm telling you what's happening right now and what's going to happen right afterwards and what's been happening before this. These wrestlers, a lot of them, there are some good people that are in that business that are trying to do the right thing and trying to be decent human beings. But a lot of them are pieces of shit. And you've got to accept it at this point. Didn't mean to get on that big of a rant, but you know what? We're going to probably be ranting today anyways, right? So, David Starr, he also made some tweets, I believe last night on Thursday, and he basically deactivated his Twitter account, but before he did so, he made some tweets saying that he was not a sexual predator, but he has done some deplorable things towards his former partners, and that he, while is not guilty of certain allegations that were made this week, that he has been immature in the past and is learning to be better at his maturity, and he's looking to be better as a person, and yada yada yada, and basically just denounced and basically left. So he's deactivated his account. He acknowledged that this might be the end of him this might be the end of him in professional wrestling. But over than that, it's over for him, at least right now. Now, there was insurmountable proof that David Starr did what he did. So he's guilty for that sense. Another thing that I do want to address here tonight, too, because, again, I've been very disappointed with the discourse of this type of thing from certain groups of people on media. But the law of the land still stands that it is innocent until proven guilty. I have been someone that has been behind that saying. I've been someone that's been behind that law. That's not changing then. It wasn't going to change now. We live in in certain countries that it's innocent until proven guilty. Not guilty until proven innocent. However, that doesn't mean that we discard the stories that are coming out, that have been coming out for the past 72 hours. That doesn't mean that we don't listen to the stories that a lot of these women and some men have been putting on social media about the experiences that they have to go through in this business just to get ahead, when that should never be the case. That should never be the case. You should always come to something like professional wrestling and be happy, engage with the audience, engage with your co-workers, your fellow, and instead, it's being used so they try to use whatever power that they have in this business to try to silence those that try to speak out, or try to silence those that try to refuse their advice. Believe every story that you're hearing from Twitter and social media this week, because as we're learning now, there are certain stories that are starting to not add up here. We'll get to those in a second as well, but I'm not saying you have to believe but at the very least, it's your due diligence to at least listen. Listen to what they're telling you and be there for them. And let the chips fall where they may be afterwards. That's what I'm getting at here. That's what I'm trying to tell people. Now, let's switch back here, because David Starr obviously was not the only person that was guilty of all this and what have you. So, we get here. We go to Forbes here. We go to Forbes.com here. Let's see here. All right, got it. Alfred Kanua was the author here. Excuse me. He wrote here, a wave of sexual assault and harassment allegations hit Twitter Thursday as several names from WWE, NWA, AEW, Impact, ROH, and across the wrestling scene have been accused of serious allegations by various women. The trend speaks to an increasing sinister development story as several women in and out of professional wrestling industry are now using their platform to speak out against violence and sexual assault alleged levels. President Dave Lagana, who is being accused of sexual assault, stated, after being friends with David Lagana for 4 years, he sexually assaulted me. I moved to LA after 2 years of him asking me to come out. He told me I was a real friend to him as I had been there for him when he was at his lowest. He wanted to bring me out to LA for work. He was back and forth between ROH TNA companies at the time. If I came to LA, he would put me on NWA Hollywood and that he needed somebody to help him make the wrestling promotion agency he wanted to run reality. I could even stay with him until I got my place and he showed me around. Cast about a mere 30 minutes ago, before it started, we did get an update, and apparently Dave Lagana has been officially terminated from the National Wrestling Alliance. I'm going to pull up the tweet and read the official statement from the NWA Twitter account. So just give me a second here. Give me a second here. There we go. NWA at NWA tweeted at 1:35 p.m. Pacific time on June 19, 2020, pursuant to allegations made by pro wrestler Liz Savage on her Twitter account, June 18, 2020, NWA VP Dave Lagana has resigned his position effective immediately. As well, all production of NWA content is temporarily halted, pending a restructuring of executive management positions. So, you're starting to see the dominoes fall where they may here. I mean, some still need to fall, don't get me wrong, but you're starting to see the dominoes start to collide with one another. So Dave Lagana, someone that was a former WWE writer, a former TNA writer, somebody that has been on the epicenter of a lot of circles in professional wrestling, he was revealed to be a sexual predator, and now NWA has revealed that today he is officially no longer tied with them. He is effectively gone from the NWA as of today, a mere hour ago. So you're starting to see this, that once these stories come out, as the hashtag speaking out is beginning to trend more so and more so and more so, you're beginning to see a lot of effects take place. Some will take more than others, don't get me wrong. That's very much the case. But you're starting to see effect go for the better. Now, again, this is professional wrestling. It's just simply not going to be what a lot of you people think in terms of like everything is going to change, everything is going to happen, everything is going to be a better place. I'm sorry, but that's just not going to be the case. But at least this is a start. This is a step to the right direction, obviously. So we talk about this, and, you know, obviously a lot of people, how do I put this? A lot of people have been going on Twitter and trying to say, "Oh, well, you're just being a liar. Oh, you're just you wanted it. Oh, you knew what it was." And that's just okay. Listen, I didn't want to get a little personal here. Okay, I didn't want to get a little too personal here, but I feel that I need to a little bit for you to understand where I'm coming from here. I have seen people that I love, people that I used to call friends, domestically, physically, mentally, and emotionally, beat on their partners, beat on their spouses. I never saw it, but I would hear it. And then when I would find out the proof as to how they did it, I used to be engaged with things like that, and it makes me sad that people still don't understand how serious this is. I've seen people try to say that the victim are just looking for attention or clout. And look, like I've been saying, there are certain people, there are some disgusting people out here during this whole speaking out ordeal that's been happening as of late that are using this for clout and attention. And if you're going to deny it, you're being disingenuous and naive. Like, be honest here. But let's be honest, these victims out here have been hiding their story. They've been hiding themselves for Lord knows how long. They've been trying to befriend a lot of people to be able to tell their stories. And then you see the reactions that they get and you wonder why they don't tell them. For some, it's a therapeutic way of moving on with their life or their career or what have you. A lot of you guys need to look at yourself in the mirror. A lot of you. Because look, at the end of the day, No means no. I don't know how we don't need to. I don't know how we have to keep repeating common sense when it comes here, but no means no. If you didn't hear her or him say yes, then you have no consent to physically, let alone mentally, attack her in a sexual manner. What's hard to comprehend that? You have no right to overpower someone that doesn't want to be physically or sexually touched or thrusted. The nerve of you to come in here and think you have all the vitriol because you have power or you have influence or you have connections and you can get away with it. And unfortunately, a lot of people do. Unfortunately, a lot of people do get away with it. That's the thing. But at the end of the day, this is for them. This is how they can get up. This is how they can get ahead. This is how they can get by with their life. And for people, and let me be very clear because I made it known on Twitter. Like I guess you people think that I'm playing here. I made it known on Twitter yesterday. If you defend, deflect, or even engage in things like extreme sexual assault and rape, you're an enemy of mine. I don't fuck with you, man. You're not a friend to me. You're not a brother. You're not a sister to me. Rape is a serious, serious action, let alone crime. And people today, 2020, still to this day, try to justify it as, well, she just wanted it. She was giving me that look. How much of a loser do you have to be that you can't fix yourself? So you feel that it must be the women or some men. It must be them that are wrong for your impulses, for your demented thoughts. It must be them, not you, that needs to look in the mirror. Fuck each and every single one of you. If you are guilty of this, if you have committed these things in your life, fuck all of you. You don't deserve any sympathy from any decent human being. You deserve a helicopter ride, let's be honest. You deserve the worst thing to happen to you. Because when you do something like that, you take away someone's innocence. So what? She was wearing a tight bikini, booty shorts. She was wearing something that was revealing. Who gives a shit? That doesn't give you the right to think you can just take advantage of her like that. That gives you no right to think you can come in here or wherever you may be and think you have every right to take advantage of someone's physical embodiment, physical attraction, physical specimen. You have no right to come in here and think that you are the one that gets to play God. Because people like you are miserable. And let's keep it a buck. I'll even go a step further. There are a lot of you on Twitter, social media, and maybe even are listening to me right now that are all about this hashtag speaking out, knowing damn well that you're not innocent either. Knowing damn well that you're using this as a cover for whatever bullshit you've done. Now, I'm not going to go ahead here and try to witch hunt anybody if I don't have any concrete evidence or what have you. But let's keep it a buck. This is professional wrestling. And not just professional wrestling, but it's just the world in general. The society that we live in. The world, the era of instant gratification. And do as I do. The era of what have you done for me lately. Let's keep it a buck here. Because we're not here to sugarcoat shit here on the newscast. A lot of people that are saying, I respect all the women and men that are coming out forward about their abuse that they had to suffer, and that is a tragedy. It is a tragedy. But a lot of those people have some skeletons in their closet too. A lot of them. So a lot of you stans, a lot of you fans out here that want to come out here all the time and try to stand a queen or stand a king, do it back. Take your statement. Again, please do not name anyone or post any further evidence on social media. If you do not feel comfortable contacting the police or feel that you do not have the proof, please contact me privately either by DM or by her email, and we can talk it through. I stand with you. I believe you. I am there for you. It just goes to show you what we're dealing with, what kind of problem that we have here in this business and in this society, to where people think everything's going to be okay. And it's clearly not okay right now. Uh-oh. We're getting some buffering issues here. Hold on. That was weird. I apologize here. I don't know why it was buffering like that. It was running smoothly. I even had to test it, but sorry about that. But if you weren't able to hear what I was basically getting at, but I was basically getting at this lady here that was talking about how she went to the West Yorkshire Police down over there in the UK and said that she is going to be talking with police about this movement. Basically, that's what I was getting at. But yeah, it just shows you the type of power people have. It just shows you the type of things people will do in order to basically keep power. And it's a sad state of affairs. This is what I'm getting at here. I'm trying to put together words without trying to be that guy that has to be cursing and yada, 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 and all that stuff. I don't want to be that kind of ranter on YouTube here, but it just frustrates you when you see a lot of things. It frustrates you a lot. Now, I do now. Now, guess what? I want to talk about this dude because this dude is this dude will, yeah. Let me see here. Let me. I want to pull this out because I want to make sure I am very discreet when I say this. But yeah, Jim Cornette. You know, it's funny because I've been meaning to get at Jim Cornette for a while in this newscast, but certain problems and certain events occur that stop me from doing so, whether it's the coronavirus or WWE doing something stupid or something else. I have been trying so hard to address Jim Cornette, but something always prevents me from doing it. Well, today is your lucky day because I'm about to call this man out and I'm about to make this man's day a living nightmare. So let me get this straight right here. One of my followers that I follow, Aki Evolution. By the way, make sure you follow him at Aki _ Evolution. One of the guys that work on the Aki mods for the No Mercy mods, basically, with the Aki engine. He's a really good dude from what I've seen. But he made a post during this whole thing that happened. He said, I made a very vague post yesterday about Jim Cornette. In the face of current events, I feel the need to clarify and speak up. During my first year in the business, his wife, Stacy, attempted to groom me. She approached via DM, sent me lewd photos I never asked for, implied protection from the Kentucky Commission, saying that he was a family friend, and told me she was going to fuck me if I didn't have a choice. My experience with them is tame compared to others, though. When Jim was booking at OVW, right? OVW, that's the company Jim Cornette was booking for a while there. If you wanted a contract or on his show, you had to perform sexual acts on his wife, many times with him watching. This has happened for many, many people, basically implying that Cornette's a cuck. The cult of Cornette is basically the cuck of Cornette at this point, which is funny to me. I mean, no one should be surprised. It's Jim Cornette of all people. But anyways, continuing on. A close friend of mine was groomed and basically brainwashed by them for years. When he finally escaped, Stacy went to great lengths to not only terrorize him, but to actively try to have other wrestlers physically assault him. I was one of them. She sent me pictures showing tires of his that he slashed and bragging about setting him up to lose his job, his apartment, even his car. All because he escaped an extremely toxic relationship and didn't want anything to do with them. Stacy bragged about being able to call the Kentucky Commission to give him targets. He was a family friend, and if she wanted, she could turn his attention to anyone licensed in the state to potentially hurt and sometimes even ruin their careers. When he says cult of Cornette, it's because he has a history of taking advantage of greenhorns, using his power and position as booker for OVW in order to fulfill his and his wife's sexual desires. They used their place of power to hurt many, many people. No one wants to speak up because of its position in wrestling, but this is extremely common knowledge among OVW alumni. And when we're talking about OVW alumni, we're talking about people like Batista, John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, Randy Orton, the Basham Brothers, Cody Rhodes. We're talking about those type of people that have been a part of the OVW promotion under Jim Cornette. So if going by what Aki's saying here, they know damn good and well that this is completely the case. This is the culture down in OVW back at the time. Continuing on. This will probably ruin a lot of opportunities in wrestling, and that's fine. But make no mistake, Jim Cornette is trash. He and his wife have made power plays in order to hurt many, many people. Fuck you, Jim. Fuck you, Stacy. You are scum. And that is the thread from Aki Evolution, and he also made some following tweets about that as well, which I will look into in a minute. But yeah, it's time to finally just kind of say it now, because I've held it on long enough, I put it off long enough, and at this point, I think I need to just basically come out and say it. But yeah, fuck you, Jim Cornette. You're a piece of shit. You're somebody that has so much knowledge in this business that should be a stalwart in this industry, trying to help people be a part of this business and try to make them comfortable, trying to instill them the wrestling knowledge that you so richly have. And instead of doing so, instead of being a positive influence in professional wrestling, instead you use your power, you use your influence, you use your connections. All right, sorry about that. I apologize. I had to take care of that a little bit. But back to what I was saying. Yeah, Jim Cornette is somebody that has so much influence, has so much wrestling knowledge, has so much intellect in terms of the wrestling business that he should be using it for good. He should be using it for a positive influence for a lot of people. And instead, he uses his power, influence, and connections to try to keep down people that are against him or his wife and the culture that they have created. Fuck them. Anybody that is out here trying to use their power to unrightfully take away their career, their job, their apartment, their car, what have you, they don't deserve any sympathy. It sucks because I regard Jim Cornette as one of the greatest managers of all time, but that doesn't mean shit to me if this man is actively making people do his bidding that they don't want to do, and if they don't want to do it, they are blackballed, and they are humiliated, and they are thrashed, and they are insulted. So fuck Jim Cornette, and fuck you too, Stacy. You ham beast of a bitch. You got me kidding me. Have you seen this bitch's picture? You seen this bitch's picture out here? Looking like an uncooked turkey right here, man. And even I wouldn't even want to use it for Thanksgiving. You can tell that chick smells like shit. You know that she don't wipe properly. Man, fuck her, bro. Fuck people like her. Fuck people that are trying to make this business even harder for a lot of people that it doesn't need to be hard for. Fuck them, bro. They don't deserve any sympathy whatsoever. They don't deserve any sympathy whatsoever. These people are scum. These people do not belong in this business. They, quite frankly, they don't really belong in the society, period. If you want to keep it a buck. If you want to be honest. Anyways, but that's just Jim Cornette though. That's his ilk. And let's be honest, any of you cuck Cornette fans here that are gonna try to battle me about this on Twitter or on this newscast or what have you, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I've got the ammo. I am ready for y'all today, bro. Because a lot of you people are losers. A lot of you people are incels. A lot of you people have never felt the touch of a very decent woman. All you guys are angry men that try to go ahead and try to shit on anybody that is against your precious Jim Cornette. You people have no social skills. You people don't know how to deal with human interactions. You people don't know what it is to be with a woman. You people are just very sexually frustrated, and you guys try to go and rely on Jim Cornette because Jim Cornette yells and says things that were 15, 20 years ago. Get over yourselves and get a fucking life. Get a life. I gotta see people here that try to defend Jim Cornette every time he says something stupid or offensive or some bullshit. Are you kidding me? Does Jim Cornette really tickle your fancy that much to where I gotta hear you guys defend that man all the time? Just like you guys are with Russo fans, just like you guys are with other wrestlers and superstars. I gotta hear that all the time with you people? Man, you guys are losers. Get help. Seek help. Please. Man. I'm sure Jim Cornette will address it in his little podcast and will get his jokes off and we'll try to go on another rant, and a lot of people that fucking follow him and give him money will try to sweep it under the rug. Just fuck Jim Cornette. Can I get an F for fuck Jim Cornette in the chat, please? Can I get an F there, please? Thank you very much. That's all I asked for my chat today. Let me just get an F for fuck Jim Cornette. Now, there were other stories this week as well during this whole speaking out situation that's been going on as well. And I want to bring this up too, because a lot of people were brought up in this whole situation. And one of them is debuting tonight on SmackDown, Mr. Matthew Riddle. I want to go ahead and just switch out here real quick here. Let me go ahead and read these tweets here from independent pro wrestler Candy Cartwright. She posted this about 12 to 14 hours ago about Matt Riddle. So let me go ahead and read this now here as well. Give me a second here. All right. Okay. Says here, I'm posting this because I have been so sad for so long. I didn't realize that what he had did to me was not okay. I realize now reading these other brave women's stories that I can't be afraid anymore and I have to speak out. Back in May of 2018, I was riding with Matt Riddle and a few other wrestlers. During the van ride, when 3 other wrestlers had fallen asleep, Matt asked me to hop on his dick. When I refused, although we had previously been together, I was incredibly uncomfortable in that setting. When I said no, he grabbed me by my throat, choked me, and said, "What if I just made you?" I ended up giving him oral sex, praying someone wouldn't wake up to get out of having intercourse with him. It was incredibly humiliating. It is never okay to put your hands on a woman. It is also not okay to not listen when she says no. So, Matt Riddle was accused today about his role in this whole movement, basically sexual assault and damn near rape, from what this was being described as. Excuse me. But that's what's been described here in that whole thread. Now, a lot of people have come to support her, obviously. And other people are kind of calling cap on this. Like, people are kind of questioning her allegations here. Now, I've said this before. Okay? I said this before. There are opportunists of any kind of nature like this that will take advantage of a legitimate movement and make it all about themselves. That's a fact. Anyone that's going to dispute that, anyone that's going to argue that, are fooling themselves. They're naive as all hell to think that this would be the case. And now, I'm not calling Candy Cartwright an opportunist. I'm not. I wasn't there. A lot of you guys weren't there. The only people that know are Candy, Matt, and those 3 wrestlers that were there. But here's the thing. It is okay to ask a legitimate question such as, well, if you're going to make a serious allegation such as this, I do need the proof to go with that allegation. There's nothing wrong with asking for proof. Now, when they do offer said proof, you cannot go ahead and ask, how do I know if this is real or not? You asked for the proof. You've been given the proof. Whether it's real or not, if you were going to ask that, you should have asked that the first place. Do you have any real evidence? That's how you should have worded that question. You can't just go ahead and ask for evidence, and then when you get it, you start to question its legitimacy. That's up for the court to decide. Now, I have no reason to believe that most of these stories are fake. I believe, especially in a business like professional wrestling, my goodness, you should know that probably most of these stories are true or near truth. But there are some that are going to look to try to settle grudges with people that they have vendettas against and pin them for everything they're worth. And it's not a game. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a game. You know, we all agree. I'm sure people in the chat, I'm sure people all around the world, most of them that are decent beings, they can agree that rape is bad. Rape is wrong. Rape is immoral. And you don't deserve any sympathy if you commit that. I think we all agree with that. What I also find despicable and immoral and just plain wrong are those that falsify rape allegations. I talked earlier about how I knew certain people that were within certain sexual assaults and domestic abuse with their partners that I considered friends one time that I no longer am with. I also know a lot of men and women that have falsified rape allegations just because they were rejected or they were told no by them. And you know me. I'm not one to always bring the race card into this, but on the day that is Juneteenth, I think this is kind of appropriate. But a lot of black men, when it comes to these kind of things, it's very damaging. Very, very damaging. When you accuse someone like me, who's a black man, first generation African American at that, when you accuse somebody of rape, that's a serious allegation that needs to be investigated to the highest order. There are people in jail right now, in prison, that have raped people and deserve to stay there for the rest of their life. No doubt about it. There are other people that are also in prison that were falsely accused of such act and have to live in prison for the rest of their life. Some of them do get released maybe 10, 20, 30 years after the fact that it was a wrong accusation. But so what? It doesn't matter. You took away years from their livelihood that they'll never get back. And even if they are released, their image is sullied. Their image is tarnished. Even if you were accused of rape and you were found not guilty, there was no evidence, or you really didn't do it and you were falsely accused, the court of public opinion has decided that you just had to be a rapist. And that pisses me off. As a black man, as a human being in general, for somebody to take the initiative to go ahead and falsely accuse people. Now, I want to be very clear here. I'm not saying that Matt Riddle is innocent. I am not saying that Matt Riddle is guilty. Alright? I want you to be very clear with me, because I know a lot of you people that like to play this mob mentality game are going to try to take sound bites from what I'm saying to try to misconstrue my words and make it seem that I'm a rape apologist. So go fuck yourself. Listen to me very clearly what I'm saying to you. I'm not saying that Matt Riddle is innocent from these accusations, and I'm not saying that Matt Riddle is guilty of these accusations. What I am saying is that there are instances in this world, there are instances in the society to where men and women are falsely accused of rape and their image and their livelihood is completely ruined. And it takes away from actual victims that deserve the spotlight to tell their story and seek true justice. Those are the people I'm fighting for. The people where their trust and innocence and security were taken away from them physically by some piece of shit. They deserve all the attention and spotlight to tell their story and seek justice the way they want to seek it. But at times it feels like that can't be happening. At times it feels like that cannot be done because people that want to play games, that want to play God. There are people out here that are trying to play with people's lives here And because we live in a social media world, we live in a social media era to where false information at times gets out there quicker than the truth. That we don't sit down, really look into a certain situation and figure out if it's true or not. We want to be first, not right. We want to get the first scoop of things like this. But we never want to go ahead and backtrack and recorrect ourselves until it's too late, until the damage is already done. How about you get it right now? How would you get it right now? Now, from the recording right now, as I'm recording right now, Matt Riddle will be debuting in about an hour on SmackDown. So WWE feels that he probably doesn't have any concrete evidence against him. That's what they're saying. As a matter of fact, WWE actually issued a statement a couple of minutes, if not hours ago, about this whole ordeal. I'm going to go ahead and switch here right now. Got this off WrestleZone at WrestleZone.com. Excuse me. Okay, there we go. They said WWE just issued the following statement to WrestleZone.com in response to several recent allegations made against a number of WWE and NXT UK contracted talents. Let me go ahead and read that statement right now. Individuals are responsible for their own personal actions. WWE has zero tolerance for matters involving domestic violence, child abuse, and sexual assault. Upon arrest of such misconduct, a WWE talent will be immediately suspended. Upon conviction of such misconduct, a WWE talent will be immediately terminated. WWE's ability to fine, suspend, or terminate a WWE talent will not be, however, limited or compromised in any manner in the event incontrovertible evidence of such illegal misconduct is presented to WWE. So, basically, what they're telling you, what they're saying here is we're not going to do anything until actual arrests are being made. That's basically the layman's terms from that legal coded statement WWE just gave out a couple of minutes and hours ago. We're not going to take action until actual arrests are being made. We're not going to really take any action until they may be even arrested, if not convicted. Now, granted, I get it. Again, like I stated, innocent until proven guilty. That's the name of the game. There's a reason why we don't live in the court of public opinion. We live in the court of law. As flawed as that law may be, we live in the court of law, not court of public opinion. Because if we did live in the court of public opinion, a lot of these people that are being accused, whether they're guilty or not, would be gone. And that's not the way you do things. So basically, they're saying that the likes of Matt Riddle, it's not just Matt Riddle, Jordan Devlin, Joe Coffey, Wolfgang, as I had mentioned earlier. I saw names of Drake Maverick. Velveteen Dream was a mere 2 months ago, ladies and gentlemen. But they aren't. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be exposed. They have to be. And I want to ask a lot of my fellow UKers, if you will, what the fuck is going on with your scene, man? What is going on with your wrestling scene? Like, NXT UK, out of all this, I can't even tell you. Look, NXT UK is shit anyways to me, but the fact that so many talent from there have been accused or have taken in part of these things is very, very troubling. And I wouldn't be surprised if NXT UK is de-emphasized in the near future. Which, I mean, I'm not crying for anyways. But, you've heard rumors of the British UK scene and how it can be bad and how it can be very... What is the term I'm looking for? It can be very toxic. And I'm sick of that word too, because a lot of people have co-opted it to mean other things that are not toxic. But it is, in that instance, that is toxic. Right? I didn't bring up his name here, but Jimmy Havoc He was also brought up. Jimmy Havoc from AEW, he was also brought up. He was also being given multiple allegations of other women that have heard him be very physically or emotionally violent. I even heard one story that he actually raped her. A lot of these wrestling companies have to look at themselves in the mirror. They won't because it's wrestling, but they need to. For the security of their wrestlers, for the security of their fans. Can you imagine being a fan right now, thinking that you can go to a wrestling show that still harbors these people and give them a payday? Can you imagine being a wrestling fan and going to a live show knowing that these people are still getting a paycheck despite what they've done or allegedly done? It's insanity. It makes no sense. It does though, because it's wrestling. That's just the name of the game. Wrestlers stick together. Let's put it that way. I'm from California, okay? Sacramento, California to be exact. This culture runs rampant here too. I have friends that have friends that have friends that either know about these kind of things or have engaged in it. This shit is rampant. I don't know when it's gonna go away. And I don't know if it's ever gonna go away, quite frankly. I don't mean to be that guy that wants to be cynical and try to say woe is me, but that's the reality that we live in here. That's the reality that we find ourselves in right now. Because at the end of the day, if we don't really fix this, if we really don't do something about this, what are we doing here? Why are we doing all this then? I want to go ahead and read Jordan Devlin's statement that he posted on Twitter a few moments ago. He stated, "I didn't even want to address the hurtful allegation made against me, but for the sake of my followers and friends on this platform that may for whatever reason be unsure, I'm going to address this once. The recent allegation made against me is completely and utterly false, and I deny it entirely. This is a case of a malicious personal agenda being executed against me on the back of a very brave telling of true experiences by other women. I completely denounce it. This is all I will say on the matter. And I am now working with a legal team to help decide how to proceed from there." Jordan Devlin. So look, it just tells you that if you're a part of a certain company that has a lot of legal connections, you'll be protected. Now, I'm not saying Jordan Devlin's guilty or not, although those pictures of that one woman that allegedly said that she got bruised by him are very damning. Very, very damning. But this is the culture we're in right now. And make no mistake about it, folks. Make no mistake about it. It's not just rape that runs rampant in wrestling. It's not just racism. It's not just those things. We're talking about pedophilia. We're talking about domestic violence from both genders. We're talking about a lot of just evil shit that people take part in that don't want to be honest about themselves or don't want to really end it. This isn't a state of capping for women. This isn't me being a white knight and a simp, because I can't stand dudes like that. But this isn't one of these issues or instances. This isn't being a SJW, and I can't stand those people either. But this is not one of those instances either. It's about doing the right thing. Doing the right thing. I don't see how people are trying to argue about doing the right thing. It just makes me it it just makes me a little frustrated when people just aren't willing to have any foresight and look at the bigger picture. It's not about choosing sides. It's not about company warring. It's not about standing in idol culture, even though that's kind of part of it. It's about doing the right thing. Like, look at this shit. Look at this. Like what is this? Like, I said this earlier today, but fuck you, Bram. Bram was another one that was accused about this whole thing about physically and emotionally abusing his ex. And at least for Bram, there's history behind that. There's history behind him being a abuser. So it's not new. I mean, I'm not well into the UK wrestling scene like others, but there have been instances where people know it's an open secret that Bram is a piece of shit. But because he has connections, because one of his friends are the current NWA World Champion, he'll get connections in the UK. He'll get connections wherever his connections go. He's got a spot. And he's going to be secured in that spot until someone literally takes it out from him. That is what we're doing. And that is what we're dealing with here. You know, a lot of old school fans of the Newscast will back me up on this, but I have been very keen on how I've been able to address certain things that eventually come out to pass in wrestling, if not anything else, right? I have been very clear about how these wrestlers are, or at least I want to say 80 to 90% of them are pieces of shit. I'm confident that the majority of people that are wrestlers are pieces of shit. I want to show you a little tweet that I made 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I said this to Ricky Shane Page. And I forget what this topic was at this point because he deleted his account. But I said this on September 12th, 2018. Never forget, they are workers first, wrestlers second. That's been my point. Like, I like to hashtag Hakeem Adamas a lot of times on Twitter just to kind of fuck around. But you think I'm playing when I say this kind of stuff. Like, these people are hypocrites. These people are liars. What did you think was going to happen? What did you think? What did you think was going to occur when these types of people are still around? I tell you, it's a shame. That's what it is. It's a damn shame because a lot of these workers and wrestlers, you would think they're good people. But at the end of the day, they're not. They're just in it for themselves. Stop worshiping these people. They're human beings, for God's sakes. Get a hold of yourselves. All you people doing these stan accounts and these idol worshipping videos and tweets, get a life. Get help. Honestly. Because they don't care about you, but you put so much effort caring about them that you look foolish when weeks like this occur to where you now have to look in yourself in the mirror and say, why did I not see the warning signs? Why did I worship somebody so much and they end up coming out as a piece of shit? Why? Just stop. Let me pull out one more tweet here about this. And this was a tweet I made on the first week of this year. Granted, I didn't even know how this year was going to end up, obviously, but this was me 5 days into the new year, folks. I said, and once again, as I have stated multiple times, these wrestlers are not your friends. They are workers first, wrestlers second. These people, for the most part, are scumbags, degenerates, liars, and enablers. This industry is built off an immoral culture. Stop being dumb. And that's the nicest way I can put that. Stop being dumb. Because the more you guys keep trying to support these people on a personal level, trying to be their friend, the more you're going to end up being disappointed. And at that point, you have no one to blame but yourself for that. A lot of these people that have been supporting their favorites because they like the way they wrestle, or they like the way they talk, or they like the way they try to quote-unquote interact with the fans, these people have hidden skeletons that they don't want you to see, so they try to overcompensate with that by being your friend. Did you ever think of that? Did you ever think that a lot of these people are really scumbags, but they try to overcompensate by trying to be your friend or try to interact with you to make themselves look like they're holier than thou? Or they try to be for the culture or for the movement, or they try to be like male feminists and try to be all for women's rights, yet they're usually the biggest pieces of shit that want to try to get laid, so they want to agree with everything women say? Did you ever think of that? This wrestling business, man, it's dying. I think I've come to grips with it now. Like last year with AEW, it was a good glimmer of hope, but now I'm getting to the point where even AEW can't save it. And let's be clear. You know, there's been allegations on AEW as well. Like I mentioned earlier, Jimmy Havoc, Jack Swagger, or Jake Hager, his name was brought up this week as well. Justin Roberts, he was brought up as well. So it's not like they have any innocent people in their company as well. And they'll address it accordingly, I guess, in their own way as well. But I think this is the year. I think this is going to be the year that, with certain exceptions of certain promotions, I move on from wrestling. Because even I knew that a lot of this stuff was happening. Like, I didn't know, like, people personally, but, like, you would hear the rumors and stories and shit like that. But, like, you would know these things, but it's like to know that it's still so rampant today even. It's like, what am I doing here? Why am I really supporting or watching a hobby that is such filth? I gotta be honest with you folks. If I was not doing ACW at this point, if I wasn't doing ACW, I probably would have completely cut off wrestling a long time ago. I'm going to be honest with you. If I had stopped ACW originally, the way I wanted to go, I probably still would not be watching wrestling to this day. Because it's just gotten so bad. Outside of the ring, and even in the ring, everything is so bland, with certain exceptions here and there, but it's so bland now. It's so doctile. It's so unoriginal. It's so meta, like fourth wall breaking bullshit. It's like, it's not evolving. It's not moving forward. A lot of these wrestlers will tell you on Twitter that, oh, pro wrestling, it's evolving, it's moving forward. It ain't doing shit. They're working you too. Wrestlers that say that know that the business is dying week after week with the way that the audiences continue to leave wrestling. But they're just saying that so that way you can buy their merch or watch their match or support whatever stream that they're on so that they get your money, and then you can say whatever the fuck you want. These people know that wrestling is finished or is about to be finished. WWE can't even get over 2 million people at a consistent rate anymore. COVID-19 or not, it doesn't matter. They have been on a downward spiral for a long time. AEW have been in the business for a year. And who knows if they're going to even be in the shape they're in now 3 to 4 years from now. Evolve just closed. NXT UK's in shambles. Impact and ROH are still in the same spot that they've been in. NWA are a non-factor. MLW isn't airing shit. It's just bad right now. And I think I'm getting to the point where, with the exception of shit like ACW, and with certain exception to companies like an AEW, or New Japan, or Noah, or Stardom, I think I'm ready to move on. Honestly. Next year, I'm about to be 30. If you can believe that or not. I'm about to be 30 years old next year. And I have stuff that I want to accomplish. And watching wrestling to me at this point feels like such a waste of my time now. It's beginning to feel like a chore. Sure, you might have your WrestleMania here, you might have a promotion like AEW here, but the magic of wrestling is gone. And with shit like this week, with this whole speaking out movement, it encapsulates how bad wrestling has gotten and how much wrestling has just devolved to where I don't want to be a part of it anymore. I don't want to be a part of it anymore. And I think last year I said before the AEW announcement that I was done with wrestling. But I held on because I thought AEW would be that glimmer of hope that could bring it to a certain level. But even now I'm realizing AEW, as very good and as good in terms of a consistent television level of TV, how they have been, it's not enough. They're not going to be enough to turn this around. They're not going to be enough to fix all this. And even they are having problems with this whole speaking out thing. So, yeah. It sucks. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little bit I'm a little bit befuddled, I'll be honest with you. I think this is gonna be the year. Because 2020 has been the year of just a lot of bad shit. Just a lot of frustrating shit. And you're just losing hope now. If I had any at the first place. You're just losing hope. I don't blame people. I don't blame like younger audiences for not watching wrestling. Why? How, why? Why should they watch wrestling at this point? For the matches? You've seen them once, you've seen them all. There's nothing. Don't listen to these wrestlers and other people that tell you that wrestling is having a boom period or having some sort of resurgence. It's not having shit. It's dying. Watch what happens a year or two, if not 5 years from now. Raw and SmackDown will be struggling to get 1.5 million viewers. AEW even worse. It's bad out here. And until things change within the system, until things change within certain companies, until certain wrestlers and personalities are gone from this business, for what they have put this business through with their actions and what they've just done to their victims. Until that's done, nothing's going to change. Holy shit. Wait a minute. I am getting breaking news here. Oh shit. Okay, so I'm telling you, this it's been breaking news for the past 48 hours, folks. But so breaking news: apparently AEW on Twitter have made a statement in regards to Jimmy Havoc. I'm gonna read the statement here right now. We wish Jimmy Havoc all the best as he receives treatment and counseling in an effort to overcome the mental health and substance abuse challenges in his life. We are aware of various reports related to Jimmy. We are evaluating his status with our company and will address it when he successfully completed his rehabilitation. Well, there you go. I'll just go ahead and show you the statement here. You can see it here. Yeah, so AEW just released that tweet, I believe, 3:58. So about like 30 minutes ago they released that tweet. So it seems that Jimmy Havoc is right now on suspension. It seems to me by this wording that Jimmy Havoc has been put in indefinite suspension and in rehabilitation, and that at this point, probably by the end of this week, he'll be terminated because they're saying that they are evaluating his status, and it's gonna look like if this has enough legs on it with Jimmy Havoc and his allegations that he's gotten this week, that he will be terminated by the end of this week, if not probably by tonight. Yeah, so a lot of things are moving fast right now. Again, I want to tell everybody on the chat here. I want to tell everybody that's listening to this newscast. I want to tell people that are in the chat right now. I want to tell people that are on social media even, or are doing a podcast or what have you. Be careful with this subject. Okay? Be careful with this subject. Stop spreading misinformation, because you're dealing with people, or you're dealing with a subject that I don't know. Look, all I'm saying is that stop spreading misinformation, because nobody knows anything except the victim and the accuser, and the relative parties between those two, in terms of if it's real or not. Just be careful just tweeting certain things and trying to get people put in a certain situation. Just because they're your favorites, and I want to be very clear here as well, just because some of these wrestlers and personalities are your favorites does not exempt them from these allegations if they're true. At the end of the day, just because you like to see them wrestle, just because you like to hear their song whenever they come out of the stage, just because you like the way they talk in a promo, just because they like to wrestle some of your favorite wrestlers, just because they give you merch, just because they retweet you, just because they like whatever you say, just because they are able to give you a shout out, does not excuse them from these allegations if they have merit or evidence behind it. I'm telling you right now, there are people out here, and I'm going to just bring it up because it's kind of relative to my argument, but I tweeted this out too today, but at Hakeem is winning, by the way, that's my personal Twitter, but irregardless, I tweeted the fact that a lot of people are trying to defend some of these wrestlers the same way they try to defend Chris Benoit. Fucking, I'm going to go there. There's a lot of people that are trying to defend this like with Chris Benoit. Like, oh, Chris Benoit, yeah, he did murder his kid and his wife and killed himself because he was a coward, but man, he could throw a mean German suplex. Man, he wrestled Kurt Angle in that great match at Royal Rumble 2001. It's like, we gotta acknowledge he's the greatest. Like, dude, I don't give a shit, dog. A lot of you folks out here want to scoot under the rug what he did just because he gave you classic 5-star matches. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, he was a great wrestler. Yeah, he put on some great matches. But all of that is completely overshadowed for the final acts that he committed in this earth. Chris Benoit should never, ever go into the Hall of Fame. Period. And I will not change that stance. I will not falter on that stance. I will die on that hill if I have to. If that means my account or my channels are taken down for that, so be it. But the fact of the matter is that I will not glorify a murderer. I will not glorify a murderer that was too coward enough to face the law and killed himself. I won't glorify that, or his matches, or for that matter. It's not like WWE is erasing his history, or at least they're not erasing their history now. You can still watch Chris Benoit matches on the WWE Network. You just don't get the labels and the credit in the description, which is fine. There are other means to watch Chris Benoit if you can't see it on the network. There are ways to watch his matches. So that should be enough for a lot of you people that want to defend Chris Benoit still in 2020. But there's no way in hell that man deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Not a goddamn chance. And let me ask you guys this, because it relates to a lot of the people that are being accused of these rape allegations. Are you telling me that you are willing to put a murderer in front of the stage during Hall of Fame weekend on WrestleMania weekend? You are trying to make who's going to induct him? That's another thing, too. Who's going to induct a murderer? Who is going to be the one to be bold enough to go on that stage during WrestleMania weekend at the Hall of Fame and induct a murderer in their Hall of Fame? There's no way. Not a Jericho, not a Malenko, not anyone. Chris Benoit does not deserve to go to the Hall of Fame. That is one stance I will agree with WWE with and credit them for. You don't glorify murderers. You don't glorify convicted rapists. You don't convicted pedophiles, murderers, what have you. They are the scum of the earth. And people like Chris Benoit deserve to burn in hell. The people that are being accused, if it is true, for rape and sexual assault, they deserve to burn in hell. Because this is not a game. This is real life. Fuck wrestling. It's real life, losers. So what if he gave you a classic? Fuck that shit. He took the lives of two people that didn't deserve to die. And the people that are being allegedly involved into these rape and sexual assaults, if it is true, they took away someone's innocence and security. Fuck them too. I don't give a fuck if they wrestled my favorite wrestler or they were part of my favorite company. Fuck them. And that should be the energy across the board. There should be no exemption or exceptions or excuses for that. So, that is what's going on with hashtag speaking out. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, because I can guarantee this is gonna be developing throughout the weekend, if not to next week, because there's a lot. There's a lot of So there's a lot of people that are gonna come out and there's a lot of people that are going to come out and speak about this. There's a lot of people that are going to come out and tell their stories. I'm personally not telling you to believe all of them. I'm just telling you to listen to them and give them your undivided attention and give them the spotlight to tell their stories and get it out there, so we can finally get some of these people out of here. Because if we don't change this business for the better, then fuck it. Just get rid of pro wrestling at that point. He doesn't deserve to live. Let's see here. Apparently, something just... Am I getting another breaking news here? Let me see here. Give me 1 second here. Apparently, something's going down here. Let me see. Oh, wow. Okay. So, WWE has made a tweet about 5 minutes ago. WWE has come to the terms on the release of Jack Gallagher, a.k.a. Jack Claffey. He has been released from WWE. And he was one of the people that were named as to being involved with these allegations. Wow. That's something. And if you notice, when I made that statement, there was no future endeavors line in that statement either. Let me go ahead and switch the screen here. Yep, it's official right here. You can see it right here, as bold as it can be. WWE has come to terms on the release of Jack Gallagher's Jack Claffey, and there are no future endeavors lines whatsoever. That usually, when you usually get a future endeavors line, that usually means that there's a chance you might come back, or there might be a chance that down the road you can do business again. This was blatant. This was very abrupt. It tells me that Jack Gallagher, at least some of the allegations towards Jack Gallagher, were legitimate, and he has been officially released. And for that, fucking good riddance. Get these pieces of shit out of here. Get these pieces of shit out of here. I have no sympathy for that. I'm telling you, like I just read the Jimmy Havoc statement from AEW. I would have no doubt in my mind that Jimmy Havoc will be on his way out by the end of this week. That statement told me that they want to put out a... Here's what it is. You got to really understand what legal speak is when it comes to professional wrestling, because I've seen it too many times to where I don't play a lawyer. I just like watch them on TV. Dun dun. But at the same time, you look at these type of situations and you can just kind of speculate as to what they're really meaning. So when AEW made that Jimmy Havoc statement, what they're saying to you is that they had to put out a statement about Jimmy Havoc, knowing that they're about to release him. That statement that AEW put out on Jimmy Havoc told me that they had to release a statement acknowledging the allegations towards Jimmy Havoc. And what's that going to tell me is the next statement, the next tweet they're going to make in terms of Jimmy Havoc is that they're going to get rid of him. Because a lot of the allegations on Jimmy Havoc seem to be really legit. Oh, boy. Yeah, also, I wanna also address this as well. I want to address this as well, too. I wasn't going to, but apparently things are coming up with this as well. For those that watch Impact, for former Impact referee Chris Levin, a.k.a. Kid Ref, he left the company back, I believe, in December of last year, has come out today to kind of put a light or a glimpse on why he left in relations to this hashtag speaking out. So I'm going to go ahead and read it because I need to read this because certain people have chimed in on his statement here. So just bear with me. And folks, thank you for joining me with this live chat. Obviously, if you want to follow me, just go ahead on Facebook, Twitter.com/TheKeemcast, Streamlabs.com/TheAnimeCW if you want to donate and all that good stuff. But here's what he said. Kid Ref. My experience with Impact and why I left. There's a lot to be said for the good Impact did me. Most notably the lessons learned and the friendships made along the way. However, I believe their abuse was widespread and systemic. I choose not to go into detail about that here as the moment is not about me. For the sake of background context, suffice it to say that their tactics left me feeling fearful and financially exploited. Why did I accept it? Because after months of establishing that I had no value because I am a referee, my sense of self-worth was at rock bottom. I thought Impact was my only opportunity to live my dream as part of a major television production. This is why, at the November TV tapings last year, I agreed to terms going into 2020 and was told to call the office to confirm following Thanksgiving. Later that month, I was called by their parent company, Anthem, as a witness for an internal investigation into Impact executives abusing employees, including dangerous working environments and sexual harassment. Theirs is not my story to tell, so I will focus on what occurred as a result of my answering honestly, in a way that painted Impact executives in a decidedly negative light. I was told that anything I had to say would be kept confidential. I cooperated with the altruistic hope that the toxicity which permeated the promotion could be removed. Unfortunately, I later discovered that the neutral third party, in quotes, that Anthem hired to conduct the investigation was a longtime associate of Anthem execs who had just returned from taking a break to travel abroad. I can only assume everything I said was relayed back to the office because following that, they literally ghosted me. The time frame we agreed to touch base came out and went. Multiple office contacts went unanswered through the Christmas holidays. After a month of this, what I can only describe as a retaliation measure, I sent a text to a handful of friends letting them know that I was leaving Impact and appreciated the time I had there with them. Within minutes, I received a call from the head of talent relations. I was told Impact was moving into a different direction and letting me go, despite having already quit. When I asked for cause, none was provided. No thank you for your time. 2 years culminated in 39 seconds and a hang-up. Since then, I was afraid to publicly share the story. I was told it would make me unhireable and ruin what I've strived for since I began this journey in 2007. What changed my mind? The outpouring of courage I have seen on social media from victims was inspiring. I don't consider myself a victim, but I felt it was time for me to set an example by standing up to my own bullies. I don't regret what I did, and I hope that others, when presented with a difficult decision, will do the right thing. As for my career, I hope there will be a television product waiting for me once the world goes back to normal. If not, any company that would blackball me from outing indecency is not one I care to do business with. And that is the official statement from referee Chris Levin, a former Impact referee. Now, I say all this knowing that certain people came out and tried to refute this thing. Moose from Impact refuted it, saying, Chris, Kid Ref buddy, there is a big difference between speaking out against sexual harassment, which I support, and whatever this letter is. In the real world, if you don't do your job right, you get fired or let go. That's how things in the real world work. And then Ethan Page replied to that tweet by saying, then half our roster should be fired. And that is a current Impact Tag Team Champion saying that. So, there's that. Let's see here. Larry Dallas, I think from Dragon Gate fame, said that Levin making himself a victim and not actually being one is absolutely disgusting. Levin literally tied a bunch of people's real stories of pain into a look at me moment to explain why he's jobless. Did you fucking read what he wrote? Not everything is a goddamn dunk contest. And then Moose said, that's exactly what I'm saying. So, there you go. It just kind of tells you a lot of the people in the wrestling business that will try to defend a lot of things that that a lot of people are trying to speak out against. You know, I mean, I don't mean to bring up one's past like this, but in this instance, I mean, Moose was arrested for a domestic battery as well, which is why he wasn't signed by WWE back when he was being geared to be signed back, I believe, in, what was it, 2014, 2015, when he was still in Ring of Honor. But anyways, it just tells you what you're dealing with. It just tells you that certain people are trying to keep the business the way it needs to be. And you can take that forever. You can take that however you want to take that. But yeah, this isn't going away. This is not going away anytime soon. This is going to continue to be an issue within wrestling for the foreseeable future. Here, my conclusion, to me, for my bit of call to action, I guess, if you want to call it, what I would like to see is a change, an actual seismic change in professional wrestling. to where the bad actors and the bad people are completely blackballed and completely taken away from this business. Because at the end of the day, wrestling should be about anybody that's willing to be a positive influence to each other and to the fans that we entertain. That's what it should be about. It should never be about being uncomfortable in the business. You should be able to earn your spot by merit. Just like how I like when people try to place quotas and saying we need 5 black people in this promotion, so just get 5 black people. We don't care if they're bad or good. It should be about, no, you want these 5 black people because they are damn good at being the best wrestlers that you can get. This business should be it should be a merit-based business. You get your spot and you get your pay by being the best at your craft and engaging with the audience that carries you. That should be what it's about. And it feels like people aren't doing that. It feels like people are trying to keep people down because they are afraid to lose their spot. They're afraid. They're afraid that if the culture changes, they won't be as powerful or influential as they were right now or in the past. And that's why it needs to change. Because as long as the culture continues to be what it is, as long as the business continues to go forward without any positive change, those same people will still be in power. Those same people will continue to do it in certain ways, but now they'll just be smart about it. You got to start from the top and work your way down to the bottom. That's the only way you can defeat that. So, again, I had a newscast. I had a newscast this week that I wanted to address certain topics about, but obviously this topic in particular sprung up the past 72 hours to where I had to talk about it in great length because it deserves it. So, if you guys have any questions on the chat room that you would like to ask me about this topic or any other topic, I will be more than happy to go through it. I guess you can call this a special edition, but we'll resume a normal newscast on the next episode here on this channel. By the way, if you are a new subscriber, by the way, thank you, by the way, for joining me with the newscast. This is where all future newscast live streams will be taking place from this point forward. If you're a new subscriber, thank you very much. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your love. I'm just trying to build this up to make it its own thing away from my other project, which is Anime Championship Wrestling, which you can also subscribe for, obviously. But yeah, this is kind of my non-ACW project, so I had to make a new channel and kind of separate from HCW. But trying to build it up, trying to make it a wrestling-centric newscast with some other topics in between. But so thank you for the new subscribers that are here listening and that subscribe. I appreciate it. Spread the word if you want to. Again, Facebook and Twitter.com/TheKeemcast and Streamlabs.com/TheAnimeCW if you'd like to make a small donation to your boy. I would greatly appreciate it. I would love you dearly if you did so. But it's time for the Q&A portion of the newscast. I know SmackDown's about to start in about 5 to 6 minutes. I don't give a shit. I am going to do the newscast for all of you because I like you guys. And I will answer as many questions as I can until I can't answer them anymore. So go ahead and post your questions in the chat. If I don't reach your question, just keep posting it in the chat until I eventually do see it. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and let's get to it. Let's see. Tux Gohan, did you see Joey Janela's graphic on Cornette called Cult of Cuck? Of course I did. I gotta tell you, Jim Cornette, man, he's been one that's has gotten the brunt of all this, and of course him and his fat ass wife have been denying all the allegations and trying to be douchebags the way that they are. Again, a lot of people have skeletons in their closet. The ones that like to boast the loudest, the ones that like to judge others the loudest, tend to be the ones that are the actual pieces of shit. As I've learned throughout my lively experience in 29 years on this earth, that's what I've figured out. Call it a hunch. But yeah, I saw that sign. Joey Janela's taking victory laps, and quite frankly, it's well deserved for all the abuse he got from Cornette and his little minions of the cult. He's taking victory laps for how Jim's being a piece of shit. So, you know, you gotta love it. You love to see it. Let's see here. JC1986, who's also a new subscriber, by the way. Thank you very much, JC, for subscribing to the newscast. I appreciate your support. What do you think of Will Ospreay and Bill Priestley being mentioned in this speaking out movement? Well, there has been rumors that, you know, I'll just go ahead and say, but there have been rumors that Will Ospreay and B. Priestley have used their position within UK wrestling, with British wrestling, to blacklist and deny other workers promotional spots or a payday because of certain allegations that they made. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong again, I'm not really well versed into the UK scene like others are, but I believe her name was Pollyanna, who was a regular in Progress, and she was blacklisted allegedly by Will Ospreay and B. Priestley because she had made the claim that one of Will's friends had sexually assaulted her, and apparently she took it to Jim Smallman, who was running Progress at the time, and he basically was lackadaisical about it, and Will used this position in power to throw that allegation under the rug and basically blacklist Pollyanna from Progress and other promotions around the world. And that's why she's no longer wrestling. So that's just one instance of a victim trying to get her story out and completely being silenced because of the connection that she was going after. It's a sad declarative situation with that, but it's nothing new in the business. If you know what it is, you know what it is. It's nothing new in the business. But them being named here, it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise at all. Let's see. Duckett. If I got that name right, I'm sorry if I got it wrong. Who's also a new subscriber. Thank you very much, by the way, Duckett, for subscribing. I appreciate it. So what do you think of the new AEW pickups? Yeah, so this week AEW signed some new talent in Abaddon and the Absolute One, Ricky Starks. With Abaddon, I'm kind of meh with her. I'm kind of like, because I saw her match with Sheeta on Dark a couple of months ago, and I wasn't really impressed, but apparently a lot of the AEW stands tried to assume that she had the best debut ever, that she's spooky, she's scary. And it's like, okay, she has a decent character, but like Sheeta is arguably the best worker in that division, period. And she couldn't really get a really good match out of Abaddon. So it just tells me that there are other signees or other women wrestlers out there that could have had the spot before her. But she signed, again, AEW needs more bodies in their women's division. Britt Baker is still injured. Chris Statlander was injured last week. A lot of the other women are either in Japan or in Europe, stuck there during the whole coronavirus situation. All the other potential top female girls are either signed to another organization or are injured themselves. It's kind of hard for the women's division. Should there be some improvements with that division? Of course. But I am sick and tired of all these end-of-the-worlders or these black pillars that try to say, oh my God, they don't listen, they hate women. It's like, shut up. The women's division in AEW has improved. I don't care what anyone says. Nyla Rose is starting to improve. Hikaru Shida is the champion. Big Swole is a charismatic enigma. Like, they're doing so much better than they were at the start of the year. It's not even close. And as long as they get a lot of other people to be a part of the division once the coronavirus restrictions on certain continents and countries are lifted, they'll be fine. So just fucking stop. Are they better than Impact or WWE in that sense of their women's division? No. But are they improving? Yes. And that's the point. And people need to stop being disingenuous because they want to dunk on AEW again. It's getting old and it's very blatant at this point. Let's see. More questions here. Let's see. Aris Williams. Do you think Kaw is an awesome alternative for wrestling? Of course. Yes. Absolutely. I've said this many times for many months and years that CAW is a great alternative to pro wrestling. You know, when pro wrestling isn't being your fill for entertainment, there are a lot of CAW leagues, past and present, that can provide you the entertainment that pro wrestling isn't giving you right now. Whether it's wrestling, storytelling, character development, it doesn't matter. Presentation doesn't matter. There's a lot of CAW leagues other than HCW, obviously, but there are also other leagues that are providing you a lot of things that if you go ahead and watch and search them, you'll see quickly that they put their effort and they put their hard work into it and they deserve your support. And right now, you know, granted, CAW have their issues, quite frankly, too, but overall, the community is pretty decent. It's pretty good. It's very welcoming, and as long as you're a decent human being, you have nothing to worry about. So yeah, it's obviously a great alternative. I remember one time I said that on Newscast. I remember one time I made an entire newscast about how CAW is an alternative to pro wrestling. Of course, certain people from certain cliques were trying to disregard that whole argument, but now as you see it in 2020, I was vindicated. So go fuck yourself. Let's see here. Let me get more questions here. By the way, once again, just keep posting the questions that you would like to post on the chat. If you want your answers. John Mercer, have you heard of the Inuyasha sequel? Yashahime coming soon. I have heard of the sequel. Kind of surprised we're getting an Inuyasha sequel in 2020, quite frankly. I'll be honest, I wasn't always the biggest Inuyasha fan. Like, my sister is more of an Inuyasha fan than I was, but I did watch it, and I thought it was fine for what it was at the time. I mean, I'll be on the lookout for it. So I'll be on the lookout for it. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Let's see. R.S. Williams, I usually ask every time, but are you caught up with anything like CAW, anime, and other stuff? In terms of CAW, kinda. Like the leagues that I follow, I've kinda caught up with in terms of like what they're trying to do or what they're trying to tell. Not all of them, but I'm catching up. Like I'm taking my time catching up on certain things I've missed since my off-season break and all that other stuff, working on ACW and all that. Anime, I do need to catch up though. My brother keeps recommending Vinland Saga, and I do need to watch that anime because it looks dope. Nobody's spoil anything, but Vinland Saga looks dope. I do want to watch that sometime soon when I get the chance. I know the God of High School's coming out. That looks boss. Attack on Titan, the final season's coming up this year, which is going to be awesome. I'll be looking forward to that. Tower of God I need to watch too. ReZero, the second season of ReZero's coming back this year. Fuck yeah, that whole anime was fucking boss. I don't give a fuck what no one says. But yeah, I'm keeping my eye out on certain things. Don't you worry. JC 1986. Still with Ospreay and Priestley, since I forgot to mention in the previous question, could they be in danger of losing their jobs in New Japan and Stardom respectively? I personally don't see it. Look, and I want to be very clear. Let's not act like the culture of wrestling in Japan is any different than what's going on in the UK or in the US here. There's a lot of stories with them as well, but the problem with that is that it's a different culture in and outside of professional wrestling. It's a different culture. So something like this to where, yeah, what happened allegedly was wrong with what Will and B did against people like Pollyanna and Sadie Gibbs, but at the end of the day, it was years ago, and to them, they're going to look at that and say, well, it hasn't been recently. Will Ospreay is our top gaijin, B. Priestley is one of the top gaijins, if not the top gaijin in Stardom. They have their spots right now in that respective promotion with Will Ospreay, New Japan, B. Priestley in Stardom. I don't see it. I personally don't see them gone. Yeah. Yeah, Will Ospreay also, again, going back to the connections, he has too many connections to where that just simply wouldn't happen. Or at least it won't happen anytime soon is basically what I'm getting at. Let's see. Big B Way, my Big Boy Gaming 2824, one of my HCW fans who supports the league. Yo, Hakeem, have you heard about Vince McMahon getting accused of sexual acts? Oh, come on. Come on. That's been an open secret for decades, not even years, decades. Everyone knows about Vince McMahon's sexual deviancy amongst the years and decades he's been in the cusp of WWE or F. You know, everyone knows that. I mean, come on. Everyone knows that. Whether it's him fighting against the government with steroids, or whether it's him flaunting his sexual relationships with certain women talent on TV. I mean, hell, do yourself a favor. Go ahead on Google and type up Rita Chatterson, the first female referee, and figure out why she's no longer a part of WWF history. So, you know, Vince's acts, allegedly, have been an open secret for many, many years, so it's nothing new. And, you know, look, everything that happens in the dark will eventually be shown in light, and Vince McMahon is no different in that regard. It's going to take a lot of people and a lot of ways of that to be done, but Vince McMahon is not immune to that as well. He'll probably die first and take it to his grave before he sees any sort of criminal justice or criminal sentence. So, that's just the business. People don't care about pro wrestling. That's why people in the business do whatever they want. Let's see. Brandon Cuevas. Hey, Hakeem, are you looking forward to AEW Fyter Fest in 3 weeks? Yeah, I actually am. I think that the Fyter Fest bill for AEW has been pretty solid, if not good. I'm looking forward to Jon Moxley and Brian Cage for the title. I think that's been built up very well. They've been building up Cage as a monster and Moxley as the Never Say Die champion. I like where that's going. Best Friends and Omega and Page for the tag team titles. I'm looking forward to that as well. That should be a good match. Hager and Cody for the TNT title. That could be good or really not good. It's either or. I'll put it that way. What else? I think it was Hikaru Shida and Penelope Ford. I'm interested in that. I'm interested in that match because it seems that Penelope Ford has improved slightly, but not to the level of like a Nyla Rose or a Chris Statlander, if you will. So I'm curious to see how Shida fares well with Ford in a one-on-one contest. It should be pretty solid, maybe. I don't know. Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho, that should be awesome. And you saw a little glimpse of that at Dynamite during this week at the end of the show. I'm looking forward to it. I think Jericho will know the spots he will pick to make Cassidy look so good, and I think Cassidy will pick his spots to make the match more enhanced to their strengths and hide the weaknesses. So I think that's very possible, is what I'm getting at. Let's see here. Okay, let's see. Any more questions here? Bye. Oh, okay. Text go home. What do you know of Pat Patterson's history of sexual accusations? Oh, come on. Everyone knows about the ring boy stories of Pat Patterson allegedly and how he would pay young boys that would be ring crew to, do favors. Everyone knows. Look, all the stuff that you guys are starting to figure out now with WWE, everyone's been knowing about it. It's just been an open secret. But because the business is the way it is, nothing gets done about it. And still to this day, quite frankly, nothing gets done about it. So I don't know what to tell you. Um, let's see here. RS what are your thoughts on the PS5 and some of the games that are coming out with them? Yeah, so I watched the PS5 reveal live this week, and I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. I think a lot of people that are trying to gas it up as great are fooling themselves. As for the PS5 look of the console, initially I wasn't really that fond of it. I thought it was too white. I thought it was too bland for my particular taste. I thought a good balanced mixture of blue and white would have sufficed, but all making it basically all white, I don't know about that. And the rumors that the PS5 might be an $800 value at holiday launch this year, that's a no for me. And that should be really the crutch of things. You shouldn't really be buying these consoles at holiday launch, especially at their initial price, when you're not going to get the games that you want to play them in until the next year or so. So why are you buying these consoles? They're just basically pieces of plastic and brick at that point. Buy the console when you get a good discount off it, and then when the games start coming in, you'll be able to save more on the games and the console. But let's see, Ghostwire Tokyo. I'm looking forward to that. What was that one thing called? Nana? No, it's like it was like not Kana, but like, fuck. It was that anime looking game with that woman as the main protagonist. That looks pretty dope. That's probably in my field. Resident Evil 8 came out. That looks pretty dope. Yeah, those are like some of the games that I'm probably gonna pretty much purchase from PS5 when it comes out. But you know, John, call related question for you and everyone: which of the following groups left a devastating impact? JSA, Paradigm Foundation, or Spiral? I mean, I'm gonna kind of be biased here, and honestly, I'm probably gonna be objective as well. But the JSA, I think the JSA to me is the group that has made the impact that it did. To me, I can tell you that when I was the JSA season of ACW, was like, with the exception of this season, was the most traffic that we ever got within our social media and on YouTube when we were doing the JSA season on Impulse and Excel. And a lot of people were invested all throughout the season. Were there mistakes that were made in that season when it pertained to the JSA? Obviously. And one day I'm going to do a stream just talking about the whole JSA storyline, the way I put it together. But overall, it was such a big storyline to where like everyone was trying to get in on the whole JSA thing. So I think the JSA, obviously, out of those three, would be the group that made the most impact. But all three groups are different, though. All three groups are different in their own ways. A lot of people say like the Paradigm Foundation is the same are the same as the JSA, and I think a lot of people aren't watching the show closely enough. Maybe sometimes I think that I maybe am too subtle with my storylines. Maybe I am too subtle with my storylines. And it's like, but at the same time, I don't want to dumb down my storylines either, because that's not how I roll. But yeah, if you've been watching the new season so far, you can clearly tell that the Paradigm Foundation is nowhere near or nowhere similar to the JSA. But that's just me. You might see it differently. JM Factor. My man Joseph, bro. Joseph Matos. Hey, Keem, with the Fire Pro's last DLC allowing us to create our own moves, are you ready for a ton of Kaneki moves to be created? You damn right. Kaneki is the best. Kaneki is the best anime wrestler of all time. Best anime wrestling show of all time. Damn it. Kaneki is a legend. There have been always reports of Hulk Hogan back when he was in Japan. He would always watch Kaneki. Like, that was his show when he was in Japan. He would always watch Kaneki. It was like a religious time for him to watch Kaneki whenever it came on. So I thought that was cool. Not that I'm standing for Hulk Hogan or anything, because obviously, But yeah. By the way, Hakeem, it's boy, but just say boy in a mean way. Boy! There you go. I don't know why I did that. Sound like Kratos. Jamal Bedlam, my man. A longtime HW fan as well. Do you think wrestlers will stop virtue signaling to the general public? I could imagine the answer, but I figure I should ask anyway. Yeah, don't count on it. Here's the thing with virtue signaling. It doesn't work. It really doesn't work when you try to virtue signal. Because a lot of the people that do virtue signal about something that is serious tend to be the ones guilty of said accusation. Tend to be the ones that have a ultimate motive underneath their public declarations of a lot of things. To virtue signal basically is trying to omit one side and just try to promote this side, which is dangerous and it's harmful. And yes, unfortunately, virtue signaling is now a multi-million-dollar business, and you can actually make money for doing so. Like, you don't have to care or actually be genuinely believing the topics you virtue signal for. You can just go ahead and do it, and you'll get your clout, you'll get your attention, you'll get your money. So yeah, I don't see people stopping anytime soon. But you have to realize that when you try to create an action, there's a reaction to it. And there's a lot of people that are just sick of the virtue signaling. And it's going to be the point where people publicly are going to tell them to shut the fuck up if they're not doing it already. Because they know what they're saying is bullshit, that they don't believe it. So, yeah. Since Riho can't do AEW, do you think she'll be doing more Stardom tours? Starlight Kid needs her title shot, damn it. Hey, yo, Starlight Kid is the best. Starlight Kid is going to be awesome in the next 2 to 3 years. You watch. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you guys give a lot of, a lot of you guys give Konami your love. You guys give, like, Mayu from DDT a lot of love. You guys give Arisa before she had to retire love. But Starlight Kid's dope. Like, Starlight Kid's really good. She just got to hone a few more things, and she's going to be a threat, man. She's going to be someone to watch. I can guarantee you a major promotion in the States are going to poach her in the next 3 to 4 years. I can guarantee you that. And as for Riho, I mean, obviously, I do see her probably doing more Stardom tours until the restrictions lifted, and then she'll be back in AEW. But she'll be back in AEW. Like, she's one of their draws, so she'll be back. JC, who's your pick to win the New Japan Cup? Yeah, New Japan Cup, that was one of my topics originally this week. Obviously, that did not happen, but I have not been able to watch all of the matches from the Cup so far, but I've been able to see things here and there. I did watch Suzuki Nagata. That fucking thing was awesome. That was great. Just two mean old men just beating the shit out of each other. You love to see it. You love to see it. But yeah, in terms of my pick, Zack Sabre might look like someone that could be the winner of this whole thing. I think it might be Tanahashi, man. I think for all the goodwill that he's done for New Japan during the coronavirus, I think this whole New Japan Cup win for him would be a little bit of a thank you for the way he was able to represent Japan wrestling throughout this whole pandemic. But yeah, I think I'm going to stick with Tanahashi. I think Sabre would be underneath him for me as well, but one of those two, for sure. Tex Gohan, did you ever watch any Tiger Mask or Tiger Mask W? Of course. Of course I did. I mean, there's a reason why Queen Elizabeth's in ACW, so, I mean, yeah, I've watched it. But, it's a good show, though. It's a good anime. Obviously with the tie-ins with New Japan, but it's a good anime. It's a good, 20 to 24 minutes to watch and just kind of marvel in. I still think Kanekaman's better, though, so. As an RPG player, you need to try Yakuza Like a Dragon. I think Yakuza Like a Dragon was that other game that I saw that I wanted to play, too. I may be wrong. Or was that one RPG game they showed on the PS5 reveal that I was like, no thank you. Because that looked like shit. I'm gonna be real with you. Aris, what anime talent have you been aiming to get? Well, I can't reveal it or else it wouldn't be a surprise, but Obviously, you saw Mob and Ritsu from Psycho Mob 100 on Excel this week, so obviously I've been scouting. So stay tuned. It's gonna be one of those seasons. Like I said, I'm not playing this season, man. ACW is gonna be ACW, and ACW is gonna be back here to do some good stuff. So, like it always does. So, yeah. Stay tuned. Let's see here. We're almost done here. Gilia for the Wonder Belt, pal. Man, fuck Gilia. Man. Y'all, look, I love you. Look, Joseph, I love you, bro. You're one of my good friends in CAW. You've been one of my good friends for a while in CAW, but dog, Gilia is shit. Stop gassing up mediocrity. Okay? She's not even the best. She's not even the best wrestler in her group. That's Siri. That's Siri. That's Suri. Excuse me, I get tongue tied when I say her name. But yeah, Suri. It's not even Gilia, bro. And as long as Jungle Kiana is still in that company, Gilia ain't beating shit. So there you go. Let's see here. Big Boy Gaming 2824. Who do you consider the best rapper of all time? That is a very general statement and question because there's a lot of ways you can go about that, but I'll do this. In terms of my favorite rapper of all time, it says best, so it's not favorite, but to me, a rapper is more than your lyrics. They inspire people, they impact the world, they impact the culture, they impact the genre. So if I'm going by those merits, and amongst other merits, I think the best rapper of all time is Tupac. Could be because I'm from California. I get it, but I think Tupac's the best rapper of all time. If you disagree, I'm fine with that. I'm not going to argue with it. I'm just telling you I think he's the best rapper. I think the best rapper of my generation, though, however, because I was 91, so I didn't really get to enjoy Tupac fully during his prime, but I think in terms of the best rapper that I grew up with, I got to go with Lupe Fiasco. Lupe Fiasco to me, was my favorite rapper. To me, was a very lyrical yet powerful rapper. You can go with Food and Liquor. You can go with The Cool. Both classics. To me, The Cool is even a bigger classic to me. Now, granted, he did Lasers and other projects after that. But then he came back with Draga Light and Draga and Draga Wave and all that stuff. Tetsuo and Youth. So, Lupe Fiasco is one of those people that everyone knows he's good, but he'll never get the full credit because he never got to be what everybody wanted him to be, if that makes sense. So, yeah. Those would be the two, though, in terms of that best rapper label. For me, at least. Let's see here. Who the hell is Gilia? She's in Stardom. She's one of the people from Stardom that, is considered to be one of the top stars of the company, even though I think, I don't think she's all that great. A lot of people do think so, but yeah. Let's see here. I think we're almost done with these questions unless we got any more. Bro, I don't give a fuck if she got over Joseph. She sucks. She sucks. Alright, I think I'm almost done here. Let's see, do we have any more questions here? Let me see here. If there was ever a time you wanted to make your own CW wrestler, what would the wrestler be like? Yeah. Man, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I thought about it before, obviously, but I never really gotten into like what I thought of it. I guess like I guess if I wanted it to be a CW character, I wanted to be, it would be somebody that like somebody that grew from tough circumstances that were out of his control, and then he grew up to be a successful businessman or successful entrepreneur or whatever. That didn't allow anyone to tell him what to do or allowed him to say what they wanted him to say. That I mean, I'm kind of being a little. I'm kind of being a little vague about it, but I really haven't thought of it too much. Um, but yeah, yeah, yeah. That's probably where it's gonna. That's probably gonna be where it goes. And I can see through my Twitter line right now that Matt Riddle has debuted and has confronted AJ Styles in this championship celebration. So there you go. He's debuted. They're not cutting off his segment or anything. So there you have it. Again, like I said, until in terms of his allegations come up to be with concrete evidence, I mean, innocent until proven guilty, man. That's just how it goes. I'm not again, like I'm saying, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that he's innocent. I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm just saying that it is what it is with that right now, unfortunately. Um, Jamal asked, "What do you think of people who flash the hashtag Call Lives Matter hashtag?" Oh man. Okay, well, look, listen. I don't know. I don't know. Certain people saw on my personal Twitter that a couple of weeks ago I had a little bit of an argument with somebody that I knew amongst the CAW world, I guess, that made a bit of a statement that I necessarily did not agree with, that I actually found a little bit distasteful. And you know me, I'm rarely offended about a lot of things, but that one in particular I found a little bit distasteful and out of touch. And people that know me know that I don't involve myself in like CAW drama. I don't involve myself in a lot of the bullshit that happens with that. But for that one in particular, I had to respond because I just thought, especially during that whole week where the riots and the protests were happening at an all time high, a lot of people were, you know, rightfully confused and angry and frustrated, and somebody's trying to make it into a thing that it doesn't need to be. So I had to, and I mean, I won't say his name, obviously. So people that are in the know who I'm referencing, but, and please do not post it on the chat either. Please do not reference his name on the chat. But everyone knows who I'm getting at if you know. But I basically had to tell him, like, dude, like, I don't fuck with the Black Lives Matter movement per se, but I fuck with the message. Because Black lives do matter. Obviously, as an African American myself, Black lives do matter. Like, and you're out here taking that hashtag and trying to trivialize it for something like CAW, which is cringe. And he's not the only one that did that I saw on my timeline. He's not the only one that did that type of bullshit that I didn't address. Because I saw that. But yeah, I was annoyed, and he tried to justify it, and I told him, what kind of justification is there to try to equate Call Lives Matter, which aren't living things, to actual black lives that are living, in some cases aren't living. And then at the very end of one of his replies, he tried to like throw an empty threat towards me, saying like, "Don't talk to me this matter again." I'm like, dude, dude, bro, if you're like, bro, like if you're trying to really like threaten me, like, bro, you ain't gonna do shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not like you're out here trying to be tough guy on Twitter, bro. How old are you? You're trying to be tough with me on Twitter. Are you fucking out of your mind? Am I supposed to respect you for that? Am I supposed to grovel to you for that, motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gonna do shit online, and you damn sure ain't gonna do shit offline. So just stop the cap. So I basically told him, like, your empty threats don't mean shit to me. I'm just telling that you're wrong and that you might need to reevaluate yourself. So of course he blocked me and severed that relationship with me, which is whatever. I if people like that are so thin skinned and mentally, let me scale back. If they're thin skinned and unable to read the room, if you will, then their friendship wasn't worth it in the end. So I hope he does realize that. I hope he does realize that he's wrong. Something tells me that he didn't, but again, it just goes to tell you that people like that in CAW really ruin the experience for everybody else that are trying to make it a fun and decent place to be a part of. And just you get tired of it. I mean, like back in the days when I was younger and just starting up with ACW, I think I've said this before. I think I even said it on Jamco's podcast, I believe 2 weeks ago, which you can check out on his podcast, FWZ podcast, or FWZ Talk, excuse me. It's on his podcast. You can check it out. I did a nice interview with him, one of my close friends of CAW. But yeah, I basically told him, like, dude, like back in the day, I used to be called a lot of things as a black man trying to create an anime-centric league in CAW back in 2006, 2007. You can tell that it wasn't that easy for me. I used to be called a lot of names, the usual names. Even I was called a pedophile at one point, which is crazy. But it's easier now for a lot of people. Not maybe for certain people, but a lot of other people. So when I hear shit like that, when I see shit like that, it doesn't bother me like it used to. Like Hakeem back in 2006, it might have bothered me. Hakeem in 2020 is just laughing at your stupidity. That's all it is. Okay. I believe that is I believe that's it. Unless I'm tripping, I'm just looking through everything. A lot of people are not happy that Matt Riddle's on SmackDown, but it is what it is, man. I mean, think of the company that you're dealing with, man. Think of the company that you're dealing with. Think of the company that's doing this too. So, there you go. I think, unless there's anything else I'm missing, I'm looking through my Twitter line to see if there's any more other updates, because this has been a weird week. Let's see here. I think that's it. I think we're good. Yep, I think that is it. All right, so here's what's gonna happen. Here's what's gonna happen, because I haven't done a newscast in a while up until today. I understand that. So yeah. Like, I will try to be more frequent with the newscast episodes. It's just that I've been putting together ACW a lot of times and other projects outside of ACW in real life that I've been doing that I just been kind of slacking on the newscast. But I will try to do more newscasts as I can. If more developments come out from this hashtag speaking out thing, I can tell you right now, if more stuff really starts coming out to where it's breaking news after breaking news after breaking news like it was today, then I will do a special newscast this weekend to talk about all the developments, because it's important to talk about those updates and try to get these people out of here, man. Get these people out of this industry, quite frankly. But I promise that I will do an update for that. I will do an update. I will do a special newscast if we get more updates this weekend of the hashtag speaking out. But other than that, I think my job here is done for the day. Yeah, I think my job is done here for the day. For those that are going to ask, I plan to have Impulse 108 out by either Sunday or Monday. I was trying to put it together. I was trying to put Impulse together yesterday, but the whole speaking out thing pretty much kind of made me not want to do any HCW stuff. And quite frankly, today I haven't really been doing any HCW stuff. So expect Impulse to be out by Sunday or Monday. One of the great things about HCW this season for me is that I have learned now to enjoy just the fact that sometimes I will miss my deadline for things that I would like to publish, and it's okay. For as long as I've been doing HCW, which has been 15 years now, I used to always get mad at myself for missing the deadline. I would always feel like I disappointed my fans. You know what I mean? I always felt that I disappointed my fans whenever I missed the deadline, to be like, fuck, I didn't get it out on Friday. I would literally beat myself up back then that I missed the deadline, because I felt that I failed you guys. I failed providing you guys that type of entertainment. I felt like I didn't do my due diligence to provide you the entertainment you're looking for. But now, in 2020, now that I'm almost 30, I realize that I can just go ahead and understand that sometimes there are things outside of your control that you just can't handle, and that it's okay to just upload certain shows and events. And if you can't upload it at a certain time, it's okay, because the fans will forgive you. Because to a lot of my fans, I haven't insulted their intelligence. I haven't ever thought that they were lesser than me. I always gave them credit, and I always appreciated them for the support, and for that, they always stick by me with that. So I'm starting to learn that I'm starting to learn that with this new season, that I might not get it out when I say I get it out, but understand that I am working on it diligently, and that when it comes out, the wait will be worth it. So I want to thank all of you guys for supporting me with ACW, and I want to thank all of you guys that are supporting me with the newscast as well. I want to be able to make this newscast my own thing away from ACW. That's why the whole rebranding thing has happened with the newscast. I want to make it be my own thing, basically. So any support that you guys can give to me, I would very much appreciate it. Once again, just go ahead and follow me on the facebook.com/thekeemcast. Follow me at Twitter, twitter.com/thekeemcast, or even follow me at my personal account, twitter.com@HakeemIsWinning. And if you do have a little bit of money, I know money is tight right now with the whole coronavirus and other things that you guys have to deal with. But if you guys have maybe a little bit of money, whether it's $1 or whatever else, you can always support me financially by going to streamlabs.com/theanimecw. Any amount of money is very appreciated, and I would thank you kindly and forever for that. I really would. But other than that, I guess my job here is done. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me for this episode, the special edition of the newscast, quite frankly. Again, like I said, if there's any more updates from the hashtag speaking out, I will do an emergency newscast this weekend, and I might bring other guests to help me kind of go through it with me if that is the necessary action to take. But other than that, that is it for me. You guys can go ahead and wallow in SmackDown ilk. I will be going back to my HCW work, frankly. But I'll see you guys next time. And until then, stay cool. Stay cool.